Thank you for joining me this Lent in practicing the presence of God. I think the various difficulties we have with Lent, the difficulty we have in remembering that God is always with us, is actually a difficulty we have with the nature of God. What we would like is a God and a life that always leaves us feeling good. We'd like a physical life of endless health and happiness. We'd like a world without trouble or struggle. But that isn't the life we have. And it isn't the nature of the God who is always present with us. Rather, as Holy Week reveals, our God is a God who uses the very pain and suffering of life to create new life. The Paschal mystery, which we mark this week, points us to the heart of darkness, at the center of which rests the heart of God. As much as we try to practice the presence of God, we ultimately, collectively, forget. And we live and act as though God were not present. And we hurt ourselves and one another, even to the point of killing one another, murdering one another. The evening news reveals every day how often we forget the presence of God. But the mystery of this week is that God's presence, though forgotten, trampled, defaced, paved over, is not thereby extinguished. In fact, the trampling and defacing somehow open the way for God to do God's work and to take the rough clay we've offered and shape a new world. Next to the altar at St. Andrew's, Millinocket, is a large crucifix with a bronze crucified Jesus. And Jesus is simply erupting, bursting from the cross, exploding upwards to new life. That's a wonderful image for me of the presence of God with us. We can do our level best to hide from God's presence, but we can't succeed. Because in the midst of the deepest darkness, God simply erupts into our lives. God's presence among us is simply inexhaustible and irrepressible, no matter what we do. May you know the joy of God's presence this Easter.